the Home Affairs Minister, has arrived at the airport to sort out the paperwork. And Global Airways, now they are the carrier who transported these Palestinians who we believe are seeking asylum to South Africa. And this Global Airways says that they are happy to confirm the passengers have been allowed off the plane and allowed to enter South Africa, and they are busy being cleared through immigration now. But for more on this now, Griselda Lewis, our SABC News reporter, is at OR Tambo International Airport, and she has more on this story. Good evening, Griselda. Can you give us an update? What information do you have?
And I'm going to invite us to just move slightly south.
Well, Juliet, at this stage there does seem to be some movement. I'm going to ask my colleagues if we can't just go a little bit closer to where it seems that there is some movement. There had been some Palestinian supporters that arrived here at OR Tambo International Airport a little bit earlier on this evening. So we're just trying to establish if this is part of the group that has come off the aircraft. And we're just going to move to try and see if we can't speak to them at this particular stage. And at this particular time, some of the individuals that had spoken to us, the Border Management Authority, we understand, will be releasing some statement in the next couple of moments. And we see there are members of the BMA that are also having. The media is just being asked at this particular stage to stand a little bit far at this particular stage. And indeed, all right, and I can at this particular stage, perhaps let me bring you in. Thank you very much indeed. We're confirming that indeed this is the group of Palestinians.
Come out, yes. So we are fortunate at least that they've been released. As a member of parliament, my name is Imran Musa. I belong to the Al Jamaa party. I am also a member of the International Portfolio Committee, and we have assisted in terms of ensuring that there's intervention for these passengers to come through free. And as you see, we're fortunate that through the intervention of our Minister of International Relations, Lamola, as well as DIRCO's Director General, Zain Dango, they've assisted, and all has made this possible for us to have the passengers released today.
Perhaps if maybe there's just one of them that we could speak, you take them, take us to one of them.
Sure, but they don't speak English. A lot of them don't speak.
All right, perhaps if we could just get a quick translation and speak to some of the Palestinians that were on. Perhaps let's perhaps speak to this lady who was one of the passengers, ma'am.
What do you need to ask?
We just need to ask her. I mean, how is she feeling? How is she feeling now that she's been released?
She says all praises you to God. 2 days we are on a journey, and it's been and sitting on the chair for 2 days. There was no water, there was nothing to drink, and they're extremely hungry. No, there was no the cell phone was not unable to be charged over this. So it was very, we've been oppressed. So we are grateful. We are grateful for the people of South Africa for what they have done for us. Thank you so much.
Perhaps we can get someone else as well, sir. If you could please just assist us with some of the translations as well. All right, if you could come this way with us, sir, just for some of the translations, because some of them, all right, are not able. That is the group. Yeah, that is the group right there. I'll ask my colleague. Take a look there, women and children, as well as some of the men as well. We'll try to speak to some of the Palestinians who have come off this aircraft. And at this particular stage, One of them has expressed relief. You would know that that plane landed at about 7:50 this morning, and they've been stuck on that aircraft. In fact, in breaking news, this is breaking news at this hour, the 153 Palestinians that had travelled from the Gaza area and arrived here at OR Tambo International Airport have been released into South Africa. And the Border Management Authority also releasing a statement saying that following verification and intervention, the travellers have been admitted this evening. By the time the admission, 23 of the 153 travellers had already transferred from South Africa to their ultimate destinations. Therefore, only remaining is 130 passengers that were processed into the country. So officially, let me bring in this gentleman who was also on the aircraft. Sir, just ask him, I'm sure he's quite relieved that they've made it into South Africa after being on the plane for several hours.
أنتم تفرحون جئت اليوم بعد يومين في الطائرة كيف كان الحال اليوم؟
كان يوم شاق جدا وكان
تتكلم
بقول لك كيف كان اليوم
تتكلم معي
بداية بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
I'd like to start in the name of God.
نشكر الجالية الموجودة هنا في جنوب أفريقيا على ترحيبها.
We are thankful to the people of South Africa
وحسن الضيافة.
for the hospitality that they're showing to us today.
شعرنا إنه نحن ببيتنا الثاني.
And
فلسطين وجنوب أفريقيا.
this is our second home.
إيد واحدة.
From Palestine to South Africa is our second home.
يوم عصيب كان صرنا 3 أيام بدون نوم.
They haven't had any sleep for 2 days.
بدون طعام.
No food, no drink. Things have been very difficult in the last 2 days of traveling.
نتمنى الفترة الجاية تكون فترة أفضل من اللي احنا فيها طالعين منها. طالبين الأمن والسلام لأطفالنا.
نعيش بأمان وحرية.
So yes.
من تعرف من دمار ومن
جئت من نيروبي كينيا وكنت مسافر هناك.
احنا تفاصيل السفر يعني كانت صعبة بصراحة ما بدناش نخوض فيها كثير ممكن اليوم مرتاحين نتكلم فيها فيما بعد.
The travel was long and the travel was quite hard, but you came, like I'm saying, you came from Nairobi. جئت من نيروبي.
نيروبي صحيح.
Yeah, so they were spending كم ساعة كنت فيه.
احنا صرنا بتقول لك 3 أيام 72 ساعة ما نمناش ولا دقيقة.
Okay, so they were there for a couple hours in Nairobi and then they came to South Africa. متى جئتم من جنوب أفريقيا؟
اليوم الساعة 8 صباحا.
So in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, they landed in South Africa and they've been, of course, in the airport terminals before entering into South Africa for about 12 hours on the plane.
And quite a relief, of course. There's also women and children. It must have been quite tough. I mean, the reasons that have been given.
أكيد السفر صعب جدا كان.
Without a doubt, it's been very difficult because the journey itself has been very hard.
خارج عن شعورنا. مشاكل كثير تواجهتنا الأطفال للنساء.
Of course, with the children especially, it's extremely difficult to be traveling like this without.
صراحة.
It's extremely difficult then. But أنتم فرحين الآن مسرور الآن.
جدا. أكيد جدا إحنا بين أحبتنا في جنوب أفريقيا.
But we are very happy.
مدى المحبة والاحترام الموجود الآن.
And for the honor and the respect that we've received here.
إن شاء الله نقدر ننقل الصورة اللي إحنا أخذناها وانطباع الأول بلدنا الثاني.
So we don't know what the future holds, whether we'll be in South Africa or whatever the situation is. But we are very grateful for the hospitality and the welcome that we received in South Africa.
All right, let's me bring you in as well, sir. There's quite a relief I see. Most of them, there's women and children. Said they've fled hardship. There's nothing left where they come from, and they're grateful for the hospitality that South Africa has given.
Absolutely, and it's so unfortunate that we're living in 2025 and we've got people who are fleeing a war zone and an active genocide when they've been bombed in all directions for the last 2 years. Gaza is unlivable, intentionally made uninhabitable by the Israeli regime, and this is the result of that. People are displaced, women, children, including all of those who've been massacred by the Israelis. So this is a sad state of affairs, and the world needs to rein Israel in for this. It's about time Israel is brought to account.
All right. Do we know where they will be taken to different areas? I do understand that others have travelled to other destinations already, according to the Border Management Authority. The initial number that we had, let me just take a look here. The official statement that I see has been released is that 23 of the 153 travellers have already transferred from South Africa to their ultimate destination. So only 130 passengers were processed into the country this evening.
That's correct. They'll be going to different locations in Johannesburg, help them get settled. The community has done fantastic work in helping them. They'll check out their medical needs. They'll check out what the situation is, who needs what, and that assessment will take a few days. But I think after the harrowing experience of having to travel out of an active war zone by the occupier and going to Nairobi in Kenya and then having to come to South Africa, it's beyond human comparison, the difficulty that these people have had to go through.
Thank you very much indeed. We do appreciate your time. I'm going to ask my colleague Sicelo Mkhize to just stay on those visuals. You can see these are the passengers according to the Border Management Authority. 23 of the 153 travellers had already transferred from South Africa to their ultimate destinations. Therefore, only the remaining 130 passengers were processed. These are the ones that were processed into the country under the care of the gift of the givers. And given the Palestinians are eligible for a 90-day visa exempt travel to South Africa, they've been processed as per normal and will be required to adhere to all conditions of entry. The BMA says it will continue to strictly uphold the legal and regulatory frameworks of the Republic of South Africa. So breaking news, 130 of the 153 travellers have entered South Africa. In fact, 23 earlier. Altogether, there had been 153. 23 have already transferred from South Africa to ultimate destinations. 130 passengers were processed into the country under the care of the gift of the givers. And that is the current situation at this particular time. And we do know that they will be traveling to various destinations and will be housed in different areas as well. And I'm just going to see if I can't get the gentleman who had been translating for us to perhaps just get details, a bit more details of some of the communication here. Most of them are not English speaking, as you would understand, but the sense that we generally are getting from them at this stage is that they are relieved to be here. They are relieved that South Africa has allowed them into the country, and it's a sense of relief coming from an area where they say they have nothing left. Nothing has been left for them in their country. And what we're hearing from the Border Management Authority, of course, is that in that statement they say that given that the Palestinians are eligible for a 90-day visa exempt travel to South Africa, they've been processed as per normal and will be required to adhere to all of the conditions of entry. Of course, the gift of the givers at the forefront as well of ensuring that this did happen. There was food and supplies that had been taken to these Palestinians who had been stuck on that aircraft since very early this morning. And I'm going to try and see if once again there was a gentleman who at this particular stage had been translating for us. Sir, if you're able to translate for us at this stage what is being said in terms of what happens next.
So what they're doing, they've got a list of all the people. They're asking for the Palestinians to send on one side. They're going to try to arrange accommodation for them now and see if they can then safely get them to a place for tonight's accommodation. And the rest of the South Africans just asking them to separate themselves while they can identify who the refugees, who the Palestinians are, and how to deal with them for this evening.
then we need to separate those who got accommodation against those who haven't.
So yeah, so that's the process is going to start now. There's a list of people here on the.
Could you do us a favor and just move over that way? We want to gather all of them here, right?
All right, good evening, sir. Perhaps just 1 second. I see. All right. Thank you very much. We'll move towards this particular direction and see maybe if we're not able to get more translations speaking to some of these Palestinians who've come off the aircraft, and maybe we could speak to some others as well. All right, they're shy at this particular stage. Let me see if there's anyone else.
I'll get a gentleman for you, maybe. Give me a minute, right?
All right. All right, so the particulars of the Palestinians are being asked for at this stage. What is happening now is that their names are being taken down and accommodation is being sought for them for this evening. And they're here on a 90-day eligibility visa exempt travel. So I guess what will then take place once that is
I'm having difficulty finding someone.
They have accommodation, just arrange the hall for us.
All right, so at this stage, accommodation.
We're trying to show
It seems as if, there's still accommodation that is being sought for the Palestinians, who of course have come off that aircraft, who'd been on the tarmac for several hours. And this statement, of course, from the Border Management Authority. Indicating that the Border Management Authorities, Dr. Michael Masiapato, confirming, of course, just a couple of moments ago that indeed these are the Palestinians who are arriving at OR Tambo International Airport. It was at about 8:15 this morning. That's the time that we're getting from the BMA. And during the standard interview process conducted by the BMA, we understand their immigration officers, the group did not indicate their duration of stay in the country or the address of their accommodation in South Africa. So the BMA says the travellers did not have the customary departure stamps in their passports. So the BMA says following their failure to pass the immigration test, and given that none of the travellers expressed an intention to apply for asylum, they were initially denied entry. However, the Ministry of Home Affairs subsequently received correspondence from the Gift of the Givers expressing their commitment to accommodate the travellers during their stay, and that is what is taking place at this time. They are looking for suitable accommodation for the Palestinians as they come off that long-haul flight. We do understand that they had been taken to several countries, and of those several countries that also been denied entry. You could see some of the relief on the faces. These are women and children from the communication that we've received, who've left their lands. Some of them on video calls, certainly look to be video calls to be back home. I'm just speculating on that at this particular stage, but it does certainly look like there will be some arrangements that will be made for them to be taken to suitable accommodation. And certainly that will be expected this evening. So the Border Management Authority says they will be monitoring the situation, and they will indicate, of course, follow the processes as well in terms of where the Palestinians themselves will be staying. But it does look like the inventory is being done at the moment in terms of the names that need to be jotted down. And it's a great sense of relief it's a great sense of relief for these women. I see one is just smiling at me at the moment. Let me see if I'm not in a position to speak to her as well. There is a lady right there who certainly seems like she would, perhaps want to have a word.
Which lady is that?
Right here. Let's see if we can't speak to some of these women who are here. Maybe we try to speak to perhaps just ask her, how does she feel that she's arrived in South Africa? It's been hours on the flight.
كيف الحالة اليوم؟ تلفزيون.
التلفزيون ما شاء الله ما شاء الله ما شاء الله على التلفزيون والفلسطينية واخواننا الفلسطينيين.
She says she's so happy to be here and the reception that the Palestinians have received today.
ايوه والله عنا نحطهم فوق راسنا والله الله ينصركم يا سيدنا محمد يا رب.
She says there's definitely help that they received, and God's mercy be with the people of South Africa.
الله يسعدكم يا رب يعطيكم العافية ويزيد عليكم ويسعدكم وانتم برضو.
But all the help and all the people that are helping the Palestinians this evening, she's very thankful for that.
رد علي انت. كلمي انت.
Yeah, she says you must ask me. Yeah, but that's basically her feelings today.
All right, and I mean the areas that they've fled from. I mean, many are saying they've had nothing left there. They've come to South Africa. Does she have any family? Is she in transit somewhere, or does she plan to perhaps seek, asylum or try to follow a process in order to remain in the country?
She says there's obviously war in Gaza, and there's a lot of pain, and things are very hard there in their country. And ماذا تفكر في المستقبل?
كله ما في نفس تعبانين يا حرام.
We haven't even given it much thought. We just to get out of Gaza was our and with our condition, our health and everything, we just needed to get out. So there isn't basic comforts, food. There's obviously they in abject poverty, and things are very hard in that part of the world. So their first priority was just to get out of Gaza at this moment in time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Just some of the Palestinians that we are speaking to, and at this particular stage, accommodation is being sought for them, and that official confirmation, of course, coming from the Border Management Authority, and they, of course, have indicated that of the 153 travelers, 23 of them had already transferred from South Africa to their other destinations. Therefore, there'd only been 130 passengers that were processed here this evening. And as they gather here at OR Tambo International Airport, as I've been indicating, you can see there's a lot of discussions that are being held at this stage, suitable accommodation being sought for them to be taken to a place where they can be accommodated. There are women and children here as well. Perhaps I can bring you in as well. Were you on that? You were not on that flight. You were not on the flight.
To see to it that everybody is settled and that they do get their accommodation. I think they've been a couple of hours on the flight. They must be very hungry, obviously tired, and it's been a long and drawn out process, but I think we're getting there. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much indeed. Accommodation, as you hear, are still being sought at this stage. Many of them sitting along the rails there. You can tell how exhausted they are, but I do see some smiles, and it certainly speaks to what they've been telling us through a very kind translator that we found here at OR Tambo International Airport, who is telling us that there's a great sense of relief for them. It wasn't even about thinking about leaving Gaza. It was about leaving because there is nothing left for them in that country, which of course is struggling, with war. And many of the names are being forwarded to some of the coordinators of today's passage into South Africa, essentially, and we will hear certainly from them a little bit later on, but they just have to be accommodated this evening in different areas, and we do know that some of them will be taken to other areas as well. So those are the details certainly that we have. Just water being passed out to them at the stage, because much of the concern that had been raised a bit earlier on was their condition on that aircraft, the fact that they needed to get some food and supplies as well. The gift of the givers had made that possible a little bit earlier on. But of course, more refreshment has to be given to them, especially in light of the fact that there are young children that are part of this group that have come from the Gaza area to South Africa to ensure that there is accommodation that is found for them. So breaking news here at this hour is that all 153 Palestinian travelers that arrived at OR Tambo International Airport at about 8:15 this morning through a chartered flight from Kenya have arrived in South Africa. They've been given passage into the country. The BMA indicating that there had been some challenges with regard to access to the country due to, of course, having to meet the legal test to get into South Africa. Once they'd been satisfied with that through the Department of Home Affairs, the Home Affairs Department subsequently receiving correspondence from the Gift of the Givers expressing a commitment to accommodate these travellers during their stay. Verification, of course, had been done, and of those 153, 130 passengers were processed into the country under the care of the Gift of the Givers. And of course, I must reiterate as well, given that Palestinians are eligible for a 90-day visa-exempt travel to South Africa, they've been processed according to the BMA as per normal and will be required to adhere to all conditions of entry. So it certainly is a moment of joy for them, of relief, I guess, relief after several hours of uncertainty in terms of what was going to happen. There had been talks, since very early this morning, about whether they will be allowed entry into South Africa, but talks behind the scenes certainly indicating at this particular stage, talks indicating that there's been success. This is the success of it. A charger?
Yeah, because most of the families in Palestine, the phone is off. They booking in a hotel, but they need to switch on the phone and find the places. That's why it's hard.
Okay. I think those will be found. She's looking for a charger.
We're looking for the charger.
You can tell, that many of them, just listening to what this lady is saying, most of them, are trying to get hold of their families, I guess, to relay news that they've arrived in South Africa, to relay the news that they've been given passage into this country. And of course, those arrangements are being made for them at this stage to find the necessary accommodation for them to ensure that they are able to get some rest this evening. It's been a tough journey from them, from those that we have spoken to, relaying how tough it was, negotiations, of course, had been going on behind the scenes, and the gift of the givers and civil society have been crucial in ensuring that the Palestinians, have been given passage into South Africa. There's certainly, from what we can see, a joy on their faces. Of course, leaving your country is definitely a difficult situation, but where they have come to now, some of them saying they would consider South Africa as their second home, in that they do believe that at least them and their families will be safe. They're carrying very, very little. I'm not sure if there is any other clothing or material that they've brought in, but very little material that they've brought in terms of clothes. Of course, on an aircraft, there's only so much that you can put on. So they've left everything behind. And I guess perhaps if I say left everything behind, it's not just what was there to leave behind. Some of them have said to us in those conversations, many of them on cell phones with their loved ones, on video call as well. And all indications are that they're trying to communicate with their loved ones to tell them that they have arrived in South Africa and have been given passage into the country. The Border Management Authority confirming that, of course, this evening, and a great relief. That's certainly from what I can see at this particular stage, but great exhaustion, because I did indicate there are women and children that are amongst the Palestinians that have come here as well. Maybe let's just speak to some that have gathered here this evening. So perhaps if I could bring you in, I would take it that you are a part of the supporters, and it's a great evening. There's a great sense of relief. There's a great sense of feeling at this stage to be given passage into South Africa.
Yeah, 100%, especially considering these people have been stuck on a plane the entire day. It's actually a bit ridiculous that they've been let out so late at night, but I mean a relief for these people, but at the same time major concern for the rest of the population in Palestine and what those people are going through. I mean, as you can see, these are just normal people, children, a lot of them, and I can't say that I particularly feel a lot of relief. I feel more sad and upset at the situation, but we keep the hope and we'll see what to do.
Thank you very much, sir, for speaking to us this evening. And I think it's still going to be quite a long process to ensure that the accommodation is found, but certainly those preparations are being made this evening to make sure that they do have appropriate accommodation after several hours, of course, of being in air and on the tarmac itself. And I do see that from where they are at this particular stage, there does seem to be some inventory, as I indicated, that is taking place. Their names are being taken down. I heard perhaps that there'd been some hotels would be made available. We're not sure at this particular stage. We'll have to get an understanding exactly of where they will be accommodated. But those plans are being made at this particular stage. So I think at this particular point, that's where it is. Breaking news at this hour after much speculation and, of course, uncertainty about what was to take place. The Palestinians have been allowed in to South Africa. That facilitated by the gift of the givers. The Border Management Authority satisfied that the gift of the givers have indicated that they will ensure the care of these Palestinians as they come into the country. And just to give you those figures again, the BMA has indicated that by the time of admission, 23 of the 153 travellers had already transferred from South Africa to their ultimate destinations. Therefore, only the remaining 130 passengers were processed into the country under the care of the Gift of the Givers. That is the official statement that we are receiving this evening. So accommodation still being sought at this particular stage, and I think we'll just stay on these visuals on our sidebar with our team for just a moment, and we'll give you an update once again once there is some movement on that as well. But we'll keep you on these visuals on our sidebar just to give you a sense once there is movement from here as well.